Good morning, friends of the channel. A year ago, more or less, we already experienced the impossible, but it was much better than this. It was far better. I think this is one of those pieces where you say, well, I'm not even going to try. And actually, I think that it's not worth it at all. But my beloved sister, Donatella, has decided this is the perfect size for a certain spot in her attic, where she has to collect the bagna cauda shards, the bourguignon things, those things she uses once a year. But she asked for a makeover once. Are we going to say no? So we will put on gloves and a mask because we need to remove pigeon droppings, bird droppings, mouse droppings, which are also very dangerous. You have to avoid breathing this stuff. The bottom will have to be redone since it's rotten. 2 legs have been eaten by mice. And we'll see. Now that I will start working on it, I will wash and clean everything else. I still reserve myself the right to change my mind. So maybe you will see this video. So if it's on the YouTube channel, it means I've made it to the end. If not, I stopped earlier. Not because I didn't feel comfortable with it from a structural point of view, but because in my opinion, it's absolutely not worth it. And there's no sentimental value here either. It's simply the shape, the size. Let's go. We start off wearing gloves, thick ones, because I don't want to infect my hands. Sometimes I get cuts from work, and these things here are no joke. So, let's start by throwing away the gunk. Obviously, you'll have to wear a mask because this stuff flies. Unfortunately, rats have been here over the years. Here, of course, Emma, hand me the brush, please. Here, of course, ABBA isn't enough. We'll put bleach and whatever else is needed to sanitize strongly. You want to take the broom? And start cleaning the inside. This piece of furniture was obviously abandoned in a house and was about to be, naturally and very rightly, thrown away. I wouldn't have stood in the way of the dump this time.
Can you take a spatula, Emma, please?
Now we vacuum everything from the bottom, remove the pieces because they just break apart. And let's figure out how to save the structure. Because Emma, these nails are completely rotten. Wait, I'll hold it. No, this can't be taken off. You have to take this one off.
This one's nailed too.
Because it's rotten. Now we can clean the structure well. This leg was completely chewed up by rats. We tried to figure out how to rebuild the leg. Okay. Here the termites have completely eaten it. So here too we have to work. Definitely an anti-wormwood treatment has to be done. put this back, which is the shelf support. Over there, we already put it. We'll fix it here too. You can see there's a line here. You can see there's a lighter part here, and it has to lean on this. So, Mastro D'ascia glue, one of the best structural glues there is. I put glue on because I don't feel like doing this job without glue, because by now the wood is too compromised. And I prefer to put a few drops of glue. True craftsmen did not do this, but this piece of furniture has one last chance. I have my reliable nail gun assisting me, thank God, which is something essential for me today. Thanks to the fact that I have this wood that goes to lean on this top piece of wood, I know exactly what height to stop at.
So guys, it's still long, but it's starting to have a semi-solid structure in the sense that we strengthen the base underneath by putting glue, 2 nails on the left and right sides, on the front part and the back part. Then we realigned everything, and now it stands straight.
We unfortunately had to change the bottom because it was completely rotten, and we sawed off, making the right cuts with recycled wood, but very solid. The middle floor is fine, perhaps a little chewed up, some mice that have passed through, but it is very solid. Now, one door is there, let's put the second one. First though, we show you how to arrange the drawers when they have this little hole, which is really annoying. Do you see it here? Here on the front, here this crack. In old furniture, you almost always find it. Why? Not because they are not valuable or anything else, it has nothing to do with that, but because the wood moves over the years and it often shrinks, so it goes slightly backwards. It's not too difficult, just remove the nails that are here that hold the board in place with the back and push it forward, and then put new nails back in. No glue is required, just nails, okay? 1 each, and we proceed before doing a slightly aggressive wash. Abba will also be done outside, and more. But I think we'll start from the inside by washing with water and bleach. We put masks on, but we have to wash with bleach to sanitize. We can't work like this. Did you get the sphetal, Emma?
Because these nails are too dry. There are only 2 very big old nails here, and rusty. So it might be a good thing to put a little bit of sphetal because it will remove a little rust and often helps the nail removal. You spray it, leave it for a while, and then try to remove the old nail. It's not always easy. If the nails are like mine, with a very rusty head and old, with a nail remover you often make it.
Unfortunately, here I had to go slightly into the wood, but the nail was too rusty to be removed in any other way.
I do the same here. I have to pull slightly. It may be that the wood deteriorates slightly, but given the state of this piece of furniture, unfortunately, it's all full of woodworms.
Given the state of this piece of furniture, it's unfortunately a problem to consider.
And 2, let's go to the other drawer and then see what to do. While Emma starts to wash the cabinet, very well, and we'll see what color it is under this patina of disgusting dirt, I start making the solution with Mastro D'ascia and powder. She now washes a first time with Abba, so hot water, baking soda and ammonia. The inside part will be washed with hot water, bleach, and a drop of soap. This is because we need to sanitize the inside as much as possible, okay? Now, Mastro D'ascia, I always close it like this, which is perfect because it opens right away. It won't dry out.
And sawdust.
I sift it with this old sieve.
Why do you make this magic potion of sawdust and Mastro D'ascia? I do it because I have to fill a lot of spots. And I do it by making this very solid mixture, using some sawdust I gathered from a local carpenter and some Mastro D'ascia glue. I can decide the thickness depending on use.
It will become very hard. Here I have quite a lot.
Actually, I have to rebuild both the underside of the legs, because 2 legs are completely chewed off, and I will also use clamps with pieces of wood to help me rebuild it. But I also have to plug the holes in the upper top. Why? Because above there was a china cabinet, but it's gone now, who knows where, so I'll have to fill these 2 holes, unfortunately. Let's do this. I will remove some of the sawdust already sifted, and I add it little by little.
I start with the glue.
Remember that it dries, so don't make too much of it. Rather put a little at a time. Gradually add glue or add a little bit of sawdust at most. If that's not enough, you do it again. But remember that once it becomes stiff, it will really look like moldable modeling clay, so watch out. You can create the mixture of the thickness that you need. And an unavoidable rule, wear gloves, or your hands will turn black and won't be cleaned for days and days, I promise you. I have tried it myself. I'm adding just a bit more powder because it's getting thicker, but in my opinion, a little more can help. I use this spatula because I'm very comfortable and I can do things very thinly and precisely. You can also add it in teaspoons so you know how much sawdust you have put in and how much glue you put in. I will now start by filling the holes on the top. Watch out because it swells up, so you need maybe a weight so that it doesn't come out, and you put the weight there with a piece of plastic. I use a piece of wood with a plastic cover so it doesn't get dirty, and then I put a weight on it. Depending on how much filler you apply, the weight can change. If the position allows you, you can also use a clamp or a vise so that you can keep it nice and steady. At the moment, I can't put the vise here, and I'm happy with my filler put like this. It goes fast. So when it's this thick, it goes fast. So please don't think you have to take too long. Well, sure, the ideal is to put it on tonight and come back in the morning to carry on with the furniture, but it depends on how much time you have. While Emma continues cleaning everything up, I will make some more paste because I made too little of the same thickness. I close the other hole and start filling all the little holes on the top because there are so many ugly cracks that need to be closed. Half a miracle was performed. We packed the whole thing as you saw, and the next day we took the wrapping off and we put everything in anti-wormwood. About 30 days have passed, and I must tell the truth, it's already much better in the sense that it smells much less. And at least it's solid. The glue has dried, our nails are in place, and obviously the putty has held many pieces together and closed many cracks. Even back here, for example. Now it's time for the real makeover. I'll get some chisels since to smooth out this putty a sander is not enough. And I start to take off the part that came off because even if you press it, unfortunately, the putty made with glues that expand like the Mastro D'ascia of Saratoga, which is very good.
has to be sanded lightly afterwards, and sometimes you need the chisel. I have two of them, a small one, a bigger one, and I start. When using chisels, please wear gloves. It's very important. And never put anything in front of the chisel. Always keep your hand behind. Again, you have to go gently when removing. Afterwards, we will also go and smooth with the sander, but you have to start by removing the excess. Unfortunately, our top is completely bowed, and not having a straight top means that we cannot hope to do a perfect job. But we will use our sander afterwards and try to make it as smooth as possible. On this side, the leg has been completely rebuilt. This leg here had been eaten by mice, and we put 4 pieces of wood on the sides with clamps and one underneath. Obviously, we put a lot of it, and the Mastro D'ascia swelled and came out. Now, with 2 chisels, we file the larger part and then remove the excess. Then we sand it down with the sander, and we sand the surface since there is a mess. I help myself with a hammer because it's a lot and hard. The first piece is slowly being removed. And 2. Now there will be an excess to file as well. We also need to check the height so that this foot, which has been practically 100% rebuilt, is as high as the others. Let's take the sander. We put the 100 grit paper underneath and sand the surface, and we do this to remove the impurities still there, the bicomponent we have created, and to smooth the surface a little. Emma is still washing. I know that she has put ammonia again, so we'll do a good ABBA again because it's been precisely 30 days and we'll move on. It's finally time to paint. As you can see, it has been sanded, but not because we are afraid that the paint won't cling. This was the least of our problems. I sanded because someone over the years, hoping to cover the damages a little, had badly spread some flatting. Probably vertically. There were all these paint runs. Here you can see the doors. Against the light you could see the dirt. And under the dirt you could see the drippings of this flatting, of this paint. Even on the sides, everywhere.
It was necessary to give a light sanding, so we removed a good amount of dirt that would not go away with the simple ABBA wash, and we also removed these drippings. My sister wants Chéri, so Donatella will have this cupboard which is next to her kitchen, which has a very similar color to Chéri, but is glossy. A completely Chéri piece of furniture. I've already stirred it. I used my Architetto brush to do the side. While Emma starts on the front and uses the pointed brush because it will fit nicely in the grooves. Listen, Emma, we will also paint it inside.
So you're not going to put much tape. Let's go straight with the paint.
I highly suggest pure paint on such a piece of furniture because it has to cover well all the damages underneath, and Chéri covers very well if it is applied pure. Finally, we will see it even. We will see it nice and clean. We will see it elegant, and there will no longer be this obscene structure in pieces that didn't let me sleep some nights, I'll be honest. A trick to make this plan seem slightly more pleasant. Using the same color as the base, so always Chéri, and a wood grain painting pad, we try to reproduce the wood grain. So it is not that impactful, but you will see some wood grains. Not perfect because this top is in poor condition. It's not straight, but it will definitely help. So the same color as before, very thick and full brush. Be sure not to take a thin one. Load it, stroke it, spread it over the whole length and slice it. I suggest you do it in slices rather than squares, otherwise you won't get it right.
Load the brush well. And make a big slice. The wood grain painting pad circle should face down.
And I reproduce an extremely light wood grain. It will be very light, very delicate. And when it dries, it will be even and pleasant, because it will help give the impression that there is wood underneath, even if the material we have is very deteriorated.
Voila! If there's paint on the wood grain painting pad,
I remove it, otherwise it builds up and we do it again.
the pad helps us because it is made of
silicone, therefore being soft, helps us stick to the surface even if it is absolutely not flat and pleasant.
We continue over the structure.
Since the inside of the cabinet is very ruined and we will have to put pots and pans and so on inside, we apply a coat of Rocher.
Emma did very well. Look at the inside and how clean it is now. Pure. It smells new. It's a piece of furniture that doesn't seem to have experienced what it has unfortunately experienced.
Do you remember what that drawer looked like and what was in it? Okay, now a little pickling is needed because it will go in a country house. And so I want to do a very light pickling, something on the corners. Sander, I'm lucky not to have a cable, and so it will be even faster and more maneuverable. I suggest a paper that is not too coarse. I use a cloth-based 120 grit underneath, so it lasts a while. Let's go. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately, we are almost at the finish. No, I won't say unfortunately. It's been a long work. We've been trying for 2 days to get this cupboard back together. For 2 days. My sister, in case you don't know this yet, but perhaps many people know because I always say so, she loves grapes, and we have to put some in it. Well, let's say the color fits. The structure is very harmonious because it is country. There are these frills that resume some fruit, and there you go. I don't want to place moldings, even though we have beautiful ones with grapes, because there are carvings. And the molding that goes outwards won't look good. So I think we could play it down with some nice transfers. So this one is called Wine and has several grape-themed subjects within it. We're not going to put all the designs. We're just going to work on this central part. So on this part here with some bunch and some... What's it called? Row, grape row. So this one, do you agree? I'll put it here. Yes. We lay them out and scratch them slowly. So one, then the others. Where do you want them? I would like to see if we can apply this one here and then rather continue with the other row, or we'd better go directly with the row. I am glad that we are also recording our thinking, because probably at home, when they buy them, they are confronted with the same. So how do I set them up for them to look good? Well, know that there is no rule. And we have to learn in order to understand and to find out how they are. We try and sew. You can't know how it is until you have tried. Exactly. I'll cut them both out and then we'll see. Okay, so one trick. Don't always apply them whole. If you do not know, and if you are not sure how you want them, split them up so that it is easier to arrange them on the surface. Emma is just cutting them with scissors. I'm starting with this one, that we know it has to stay here. We are sure. And it looks good on this color because it's the color of grapes. Well, maybe a little bit more reddish than a grape, but it fits. It has the color of wine. Yes, exactly. Of grapes. Yes, of wine, not grapes. First one, press it down very well so it goes inside the indentations. I was saying either we'll do it like this, and then here we go again with the row so that it goes down a bit more, or else we attach this to it and put this here. I would like it a little crooked though. Yes, okay, we'll see how to tilt it later. And the other whites? I've them here and we can put them on this side. Because I would put a white one on one side and a white one on the other side. So let's remove this one. Would you put them straight? Let's start putting this one, then we'll see. Now. Like this. It will go on the sides. That's the beauty of transfers. A layer of wax to define the final color. I use the jasmine wax to scent, and I can hardly believe that it is standing on its legs.
Look how beautiful the final color is, how it changes.
This is a classic Piedmontese cupboard. Perfectly suited for being in a kitchen or in a living room where you simply eat. A dining room where one eats? It's simple because it already has designs and shapes that require it. And now I will also show you the upper top because we have used the wood grain painting pad and will become really beautiful once you apply wax. Now it's time to see the top. Look how the wood grain looks good, even if you just use tone-on-tone color. When you brush over it, it comes alive. You start to see the veins and the painting grooves. It's not possible to do this with any other enamel or paint. It only works with a paint that is as textured as MagicPaint. Look how good even the old faults and defects look right now, everything.
Looks good.
I'll finish it now, massage it well in the morning, and set it up for you to see how well it looks in its final environment. This makeover is finished. I made myself comfortable here on the rocking chair, and here I am in the attic of my sister's house. She made a specific request. She wanted this cupboard painted with this color. Poor thing. She didn't see the condition it was in before, because it was her husband who brought it to me before she saw it. And when she saw it finished, she was delighted. She loves grapes. She loves this burgundy color that kind of matches her kitchen. Actually, it's an amaranth color and she really loves it. But she did not know the condition of this cupboard before. She is very happy and very satisfied, especially with the top that, with this light tone-on-tone touch realized with the wood grain painting pad, looks like solid wood of who knows what quality. For this makeover, I came here to show you how good are the furniture in the rooms that house them. Probably in my house it wouldn't have looked so good, but here with these wooden beams, the classic floor, the red kitchen, even a bit modern. Let's say this mix looks very good. It smells like home, with a lot of cooking, of Sunday polenta. See you at the next makeover. Bye.